Welcome back, friends, to the magical world of Tottin. Last time, Marlowe Venture had celebrated a birthday and had received a magic mirror and 10 powers. Also, the Dark Lord Blue was planning on saging Armstrong's castle. And also, Ron and Muenster were getting into some more trouble. But now, let us continue the story.
Journal of Rick, The Three Perils, a book that I wrote as a kid. Part 5, Marlowe's Adventure.
Hello everyone, and today this happened. And this here is the net room. This is where they keep all of the nets and stuff. I don't really get it. So, some of you might recall how several months ago, I think, I did this book that I wrote as a kid. And I decided, you know what, I might as well just tell a little bit more from it. I mean, we're not going to be able to get to all of it because it's like 600 pages long, but I might as well just give you a little bit more of an idea of what my 10-year-old mind was like at play. And I guess the best thing to do is just to start it off. Let's just get going with it. So this is the next chapter. It is the Cave of Sadness. Marlowe was playing with his 10 powers. He watched them fly around the room. "Eli Mimbertha," yelled Marlowe. All 10 of the powers joined into each other and lit up. That night they flew around the room, playing with each other. In the morning, Marlowe watched the powers. One of them ran into the mirror. But instead of breaking, the power splashed into the mirror like a rock falls into water. The power quickly raced out, and a face arose from the mirror. It was white, and its eyes were closed. It had no ears or hair, and it said, "I am Galahad, ruler of this mirror, and I go anywhere in this world." "Okay," said Marlowe. He left and went to Ron's house. He then knocked at the door, and Ron's dad, Mr. Wakefield, answered. "Ron," he said. "Oh, he is at Muenster's house." Marlowe walked over to Muenster's house. Ron answered. "Oh, hey, Marlowe," said Ron. "How you doing?" "Oh, fine, fine," said Marlowe. "Do you want to go play in the woods?" "Sure," said Ron. "Do you want to come, Muenster?" "I don't care," said Muenster. And so the three of them left and went into the mysterious woods. As they went, Marlowe sang a long song, which Rim had made when he was king. "In times of old, when men were young men, of ages sang of his, days of King of Bengulf, how he taught the born to read and write and sing forgotten songs. How he cried away when Jackson died, and fire flew across the sky. He sang of days when men was farming in the May, and all wonder was lost at bay. But maybe today shall be the day where man can finally say, I am happy today." "It has been a long time since I have heard that song," said Muenster. "It was always my favorite, but I have always found it hard to remember." Soon Marlowe, Muenster, and Ron came to the river. They went right some ways. "Well, who would have known this is the most brilliant swimming spot I have saw for a long time," said Marlowe, a look of wonder on his face. And then all of them jumped off the cliff and fell, splash, into the water. Ron was a great swimmer, and was an expert of water. But just then Muenster stopped swimming. His eyes weren't believing what they were seeing. On the ground next to the pool was the dead body of a man with long red hair and green bright eyes. "What are you looking at, Muenster?" asked Ron and Marlowe. "Oh my goodness," said Marlowe. "I do believe that is Rim, son of Signoro." "What gives you that idea?" asked Muenster. "The hair Rim was supposed to have was the greatest red hair of all men in Tottin," said Marlowe. "Chomp," said Ron. "Aside of you, of course, Ron," said Marlowe. "Let's climb up to the cliff and see it better." And so they did. Marlowe knelt down and looked at the face. "Feel the heart," said Ron. "It's not beating," said Marlowe. "Is he breathing?" asked Muenster. "He is not breathing," said Marlowe. "Is the pulse beating?" said Ron. "No," said Marlowe slowly. Just then they heard a voice. As quick as a rabbit and as quiet as a mouse, the three went over to where the noise was. Soon they came to a large rock where they hid. Slowly they peeked above the rock. What they saw was pure amazing, and I think I know what I'm talking about. There was an army of Crones, Gwisitens, and Trolls, and there in front, with his hand over his head, stood Blue Blue. "The evil creatures of the cave, the time has come for the downfall of mankind has began," yelled Blue Blue. "But my lord, Blue Blue, some of us believe 1,000,000 is not powerful enough to destroy the Grey Castle," said the Crone. "You are wrong," said Blue Blue. "I have a new weapon, for behold, I give you this!" And he grabbed something on the ground and raised it above his head, and in his hand was a gravestone with no name on it. "A stone," said a Crone. "Your weapon is a stone? Our greatest weapon is a stone!" "Obviously you do not know what its power is," said Blue Blue. "All of you who die here shall come back to life, and come out alive in a secret passage through the underworld, and into Bingolf. But it only works on Crones." All of them began whispering. The Gwisitens didn't like this fact, that only Crones were allowed to be destroyed, and immortal. "And with the power," said Blue Blue, "and other army, we shall destroy the Grey Castle!" The Crones screamed with glee. "Come on," whispered Ron. "We gotta get to the castle before Blue Blue and his army does." The three ran as fast as they could to Armstrong's castle. When they got there, the bell was ringing. "Why is the bell ringing?" said Muenster. "They must have known evil was coming earlier." "Or we have already been attacked," said Marlowe slowly. And then he yelled, "Put down the bridge! It is his king's son, and 2 boys, the ones that left with me." The bridge quickly fell down, and they quickly crossed it. Marlowe and his friends raced to Armstrong. Armstrong was already covered with armor and weapons. He ran over to Marlowe. "Where have you been?" yelled Armstrong. "Out in the woods," said Marlowe, "and we met this weird guy whose name was Blue Blue, and he had a stone which the Crones could be reborn from and come out when they die. And there was also Gwisitens and Trolls, and they were going to attack the Grey Castle. We do not know if they mean this one, but still it would be safe if you abandoned the castle." "I know of Blue Blue," said Armstrong, "and I will not leave the city. I will fight them." "No, you will not!" yelled Marlowe, tears in his eyes. "You will say no more," said Armstrong. "Run!" "No!" yelled Marlowe. "Run!" he yelled again. "I will not leave you here to die," said Marlowe. "You look at me," said Armstrong slowly. "You will be all right." Tears were now in his eyes too. The Crones came screaming down the streets. "They have gotten into the castle," said Armstrong. "Please, just do me one favor, my son." Marlowe and his friends turned around and started to run as fast as they could. Soon they were out of the castle with the women and children. Rick walked up to Marlowe. "The castle is lit," he said. "Now where do we go?" "Somewhere where we be safe," said Marlowe. "We'll go north until we reach the ford." "And then what, little boy?" asked a woman. "Wait for Blue Blue to destroy us? Wherever we go, Blue Blue will find us." "Well then," said Marlowe, "what do you suppose we do?" "Thou must well, said the old woman. "We'll move north," said Marlowe. Soon they were marching. They marched for 3 days. On the 3rd they came across a cave. It was big, but hidden well by grass and weeds. "There, we'll camp here," said Marlowe. As everyone ate and drank their woes away, Marlowe bumped up into someone, and turning around found his mom. "I finally found you," said Marlowe, "by the beer barrels talking to Jamie." They raced over to him and began to hug him tight, and Marlowe asked, "Is Father going to be okay?" "Oh, I don't know," said Mary. There was a pause. "Where did you go?" said Mary. "Out in the woods," said Marlowe, and he quit hugging her. "Tell me, when you go out into the woods," yelled Mary, "if Blue Blue had found you, you would be dead." "I'm sorry," said Marlowe, tears again in his eyes. "Sorry isn't good enough," yelled Mary. "You could have gotten killed." "It won't happen again," said Marlowe. "It's better not," yelled Mary. Marlowe slowly walked over and sat on the chair. "The boy deserves a spanking," said Mary. "The boy deserves love from his mother," said Jamie. "Are you saying I'm being too hard on him?" said Mary. "It has been a hard day," said Jamie. "His father is likely to be dead." "You have no faith in his skills in battle," said Mary. "That's because he doesn't have any," said John. "John, aren't you at all scared about Armstrong?" said Jamie. "Aren't you going to go after your son?" "So it is not you, but your doubts that Armstrong would want you to worry about him not," said John. "I think he would rather want you to be happy. Besides, we all have to die one day." "But it's too soon," said Mary. "Oh, who am I kidding?" said John. "Oh, I would rather die than know my son is dead. If I could trade my life for his, then I would do so. I would do so." "Shh," said Mary. "It is going to be okay." "No, nothing is going to be okay," cried John. "I have been foolish to not have cried long ago. I am foolish." "You are crying now," said Jamie slowly. She hugged her husband. Later on that night, Mary walked up to Marlowe. "I am sorry I yelled at you," she said. "Oh, it's okay, Mommy," said Marlowe, hugging her. "We are all worried about Armstrong. Sometimes people express their worry in anger. But you must remember many others, Ron's father, Muenster's father, and thousands may die. And you must remember, you aren't the only one losing someone they love." "I was a horrible wife to him," said Mary, "always having fights over the smallest of things." "He may or may not be dead," said Marlowe, "but there still is a chance to change." "I hate Blue Blue," said Mary. "I hate Blue Blue so, so much." "So do I, Mom," said Marlowe quietly. "So do I." That night Marlowe couldn't get to sleep. He slowly thought in his head, "For the first time in my life, I am scared." Until finally, after all these dreadful thoughts, he fell into a sleep. Morning soon reached the world. Marlowe slowly opened his eyes, and then he made a look of wonder, for there in front of him stood Galahim. "Is that you?" asked Marlowe. "It is me," said Galahim. I thought you had been destroyed," said Marlowe. "I am not," said Galahim. "How did you make it?" asked Marlowe. "I have the power to go wherever I wish, and whenever I wish," said Galahim. "Now maybe you can tell me what is going on." Quickly Marlowe told Galahim. "I would not go to the ford if I were you, Master Marlowe," said Galahim. "Why not?" asked Marlowe. "For Blue Blue," said Galahim. "I saw him going north, probably to the ford." "All right," said Marlowe, "but where shall I go?" "Maybe I should go to Armstrong's castle." "No, wait, Blue Blue's Crones will probably already be ruling it. East is to the ocean, and I have no boat. West takes us too close to the ford." "I've made my decision. We will stay here. And that is all that I am going to tell you. Why not? As always, sweet dreams and good night.